Today we have Komal with us, who is currently studying in XLRI Jamshedpur, and she has been an intern with us for a significant amount of time. She worked on a lot of projects that I remember, and hence we decided to connect because a lot of our aspirants are looking forward to her journey and how she got into XLRI and what was her experience preparing for that CAT, and obviously a lot of MBA entrances that she appeared throughout the year. So welcome Komal, and thanks a lot for taking your time out of such a hectic schedule. I'm sure it must be really hectic at the start of your academic journey.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah. So how's are you settling in right now? How's the initial part academic part been at XLRI? How is it like?
So currently I'm going through like most hectic part of the MBA overall syllabus or course. First few days are really bad, like stressful, but we are hanging up. So let's see.
Okay. All right. So basically, you must have given your XAT, CAT, and you must be, I think you're also doing a job at that point before you joined us as an intern. So how was your experience like, all these things all together coming on you and you taking in the pressure and preparing for such a prestigious exam, getting through the interviews, GD process, and SOP forms and everything. How was your experience like?
So while I was working, I was preparing for it, but the preparation wasn't that focused towards the exams because I had like 2-3 hours for my exam preparations. So I left my job around June 2021 and I started preparing right from that point.
Okay.
And firstly, initially I was looking forward to get into JBIMS. So I was preparing for CET. And CET usually happens in August. So I was planning 8 month of preparation, and after that, let's see what happens. But I had this thing in my mind: even if I'm not, even if I don't get into JBIMS, I would further prepare for CAT and XAT and every other exam. So that was there. So first month was specifically dedicated to completing the syllabus and all. So I specifically studied for CET. So the structure and type of questions in CET are quite different from CAT and XAT. So I was majorly focusing on that.
Correct.
So in 1 or 1.5 months, I completed the syllabus, and rest of the days I gave it to mock preparation and analysis. So I actually gave 30-40 mocks, and I was giving a mock each day, like, and sometimes I gave 2 mocks in a day. But one thing was there, I never missed mock analysis because once you start lagging there, you are not going back. So
it piles up.
Yeah, it piles up. And it's really important to complete it then and there. Because if you're doing mocks one after another and your analysis is getting delayed, then there is no use.
Correct. So these mocks that you mentioned that you gave out 30-40 odd mocks, were these mocks for that CAT or what? I mean, which mocks did you attempt this?
The CET only. So before CET, I was completely focused on CET, but I was making sure I'm going through each and every concept, because even if there is like little chance I'm not getting into, then I should have backup in there for it.
So because a lot of my students are very CET focused, and they have this vision of JBIMS like you had, right? You know how that dream is of getting into the best preschool in the state right now, and there's only one college via CET. So what would you suggest them? Because a lot of people are pretty scared, or there's this phobia of the exams like CAT or XAT. But from your example, I can pretty much I can advise them that yes, after preparing for CET also there's a chance for CAT and XAT also. You can do good in these exams also. So what is your take on this particular issue?
See, you are like correct about one thing, that like most of the people in Maharashtra are focusing on CET because it's an easy exam. JBIMS is a dream college,
Hmm.
but at the same time, you have to like, be prepared for other exams also because
Correct.
CET is very unpredictable. Last year,
Correct.
what happened was miserable for most of the students, including
Right.
me, because
Right.
I was preparing for it like anything. I was giving like I gave 1 or 2 months of my preparation instead of
Hmm.
studying for CAT and XAT.
Hmm.
And but
Right.
one thing that was there, I would further prepare for CAT and XAT if I'm not getting into the JBIMS thing.
Correct.
So you have to keep those things in mind. You can't like put all your eggs in one basket. You have
Correct.
to have that roadmap planned ahead. So planned beforehand.
Right.
So that thing is definitely there.
Right. And this definitely goes for people who are targeting just the tier one colleges because you have got no other choice than, diversifying your portfolio with respect to CAT, ZAT at least, and IFT, if you can.
Exactly.
Right. And now, yeah, having spoken a lot about your preparation and everything, now we would really, the people are really looking forward to, your ZAT process because usually ZAT is a very different exam. I personally feel as, a person, as a student who have taken test, as a tutor who is mentoring students, as the owner of PrepsMart, that is one of the most beautiful exam that is, created right now amongst all exams because the structure of the exams is really beautiful and smart. You can attempt only a few, you can leave only a few questions. After that, the negative starts for leaving the questions as well. And then there is this section called business decision making, which is one of the most, fluent section that I've ever seen, which should be a criteria while, shortlisting students
Exactly.
for MBA degrees. So what is your take on this particular exam? Because I feel a lot of CAT aspirants who are doing good in CAT also are, they are very phobic to that. कि नहीं, that नहीं देना, it's a very difficult exam. So what's your take on this particular this thing topic?
See, like you said, na, that is very beautiful exam. I remembered one thing. So one of my faculty member, like in Excel, he explained this thing like 2 3 days back. He was like, "Do you guys know how much amount of time we guys put to prepare CAT, ZATCA exam, ZATCA paper?"
Hmm.
So they
Hmm.
actually give 1 year to prepare
Hmm.
that paper. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I know it's a bit difficult, but you have like 50, 40 to 30% of extra time compared to CAT. I know
Correct.
concept it's heavier on the concept side, but you
Hmm.
get time to actually solve the problem. You don't
Correct.
have to solve each and every question.
Everything.
You have
Right.
to be very selective and
Mm-hmm.
do specifically the DM section. You have to prepare for it properly. Then you'll get through it. I say.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing is there. I like really like that like over cat. Cat is
Mm-hmm.
bit difficult, I guess. That is
Correct.
conceptually heavier, but that is easier to crack, I guess.
Correct. And the structure of the exam is such that if you are good in, making good decisions, and if you have those traits of a good manager, you will definitely do good in this particular exam. Because even when it comes to verbal ability, quants, and logical reasoning, they have arranged it in such a way that you have to think on a lot of parameters before attempting or leaving a question, which is very beautiful in its own nature. So yeah, that gives out a very clear message to all those who had doubt that whether they should be appearing for that or what's the nature of that exactly been like.
I
Now
would
coming down, yeah, yeah,
I would suggest to each and every candidate if you're preparing for CAT, you should give that. Like even if you're clearing your CAT, if you are getting your dream college, just go through it. Go through the experience. It's really nice to have that experience with you.
right. So tell us, what was your motivation behind doing an MBA or even deciding in the first place after having a very good job and no doubt you have gotten a very good UG degree as well with you from a very good university and a college. What was the motivation in going to Excel or even starting your preparation for MBA entrances?
See, specifically, I don't have like specific thing in my mind as a motivation, but
Hmm.
because one specific thing cannot motivate you for longer period of time. This is what I
Right.
think. But
Hmm.
one thing I can say is I focus on how I can add on to
Hmm.
add value to myself, how I can
Hmm.
improve on growing myself, how I can
Hmm.
focus on growth. So
Hmm.
this thing I focus because
Okay.
See, even after completing your undergrad, you actually notice the difference before you enter the college and after you're coming out of the college. And MBA is
Correct.
specifically designed to like improve your personality, your knowledge. So these
Hmm.
2 years would be great for you if you're looking for growth. So I think
Right.
that was the main reason why I was planning to get into an MBA college.
Right. So now coming down to, after your exams and everything, I specifically remember you coming and onboarding us as an intern, management training. So what was your experience like with us? Because you came out of a completely different industry and you adjusted yourself in our domain, which is edtech domain, and the startup world pretty easily, as far as I remember. So what was your experience like interning with us altogether with PrepsmartExam?
Yeah, so you correctly said my background was completely different. I was
Mm,
working in operations, and by the time I joined PrepsmartExam, I was having this thing in my mind. I was preparing for MBA and I was looking forward to it. So there was one thing that I wanted to change my domain,
mm,
and this was my chance to actually get a good experience to
mm,
actually get to know what all things you have to do before joining the MBA
mm,
college. You have to be a
mm,
little bit prepared because you're entering a good college. People are already people
mm,
have already worked on specific things, so you should be
mm.
prepared for it as well.
Right.
So that was one thing, and obviously I worked in digital marketing, so it was quite different experience for me because coming from an operations background, it
Right.
was refreshing and as well as
Mm.
value adding, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah.
And as far as what I remember, all the conversations that we had with the colleagues and everything, that your performance was very good as a new intern. You stood out amongst all other interns that had joined. So, I think you did really good, and we genuinely want you to come back to us someday for interning whenever you are free. I'm sure that Excel and you're not going to get time in next couple of years, and then you're going to, jump into corporate world. So it's going to be very hectic for you, but I genuinely wish to have you back and anytime you are free, and tell us about your startup experience, because this was your first internship in a startup, if I'm not wrong, right? So how was it? How was your experience with a startup? Let's keep edtech aside, or your specific domain that you worked on aside. How was it? What sort of exposure did you get over here?
So one thing I would say is if you're looking for a growth, if you're looking forward to actually learn something out of internship or work experience, I would say
Hmm.
startup is the best place to actually work,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
growing startup can actually help you learn much more things than a settled business, I guess.
Hmm.
So
Right.
that was major difference, and that was the reason why I actually preferred joining startup. And one more thing that I said, I was working in operations, and working in marketing was completely different for me. And
Right.
when we were interacting with students for student onboarding and all those processes, it was actually good learning experience, as well
Hmm.
as it was it actually helped me to improve on my confidence before going to MBA college, because I could actually
Right.
add to the discussions here. These things I
Hmm.
have done, this all those things
Hmm.
I have worked on. So it was
Correct.
helping and enriching.
Right. I'm glad it helped you. And we are also, glad that you were there with us, and because you brought a significant, difference to some of the things that we are doing, and it added to us. It added an incremental value to our, whole system as a whole, completely. So that was one thing. Now, to some of the discussion and everything, because you have placed the point so properly and everything in order. What advice would you give to the aspirants who are going to appear for all the MBA entrances this year, or in particular that who dearly want to get into XLRI only, or they have this XLRI Jamshedpur as a goal in their mind?
Okay. So specifically, if you're planning to getting into a good B school, or let's say for XLRI, let's start with
Hmm.
the XLRI thing. So even after completing your CAT, you have 1 month to work on your XAT preparation. So first thing I would suggest is to work on DM and deepening your concepts, clearing your concept, because that is completely concept based exam. So that one thing I would suggest to work on. Second is for overall preparation, I would say plan every week and sincerely complete it, like follow it. You have to plan each and every day and follow it properly. That is one thing like I would say to any aspirant. And rest specific academically specific things, I would say there is lots of content out there, and you can actually get access to each and every of them. So and lastly, I was one thing, our batch in XLRI, like there is this line we are using it like quite often in this year. So it's like trust the process. So it kind of hit me. So just you have to remember that you just have to trust the process.
I use this line while interacting with a lot of my students who get demotivated in their preparation, because there is a phase when your scores get plateaued, or things are not going in your way, or things are going completely the opposite way. So it is only this particular line that helps you to get it straight again. Yeah.
So while I was preparing, I was thinking like, am I only one here who is actually going through a lot of like failures and rejections? Right. So after coming here, I listened to like everyone, and everybody has the same story, except few, obviously. But it's like you have to trust the process. And I actually went through it. I was rejected by JBIMS, and CAT was actually not as good as I expected. So this is just trusting the process and going through it.
Right. But as a matter of fact, I would, really congratulate you for getting into Excel, because trust me, even if tomorrow I'm standing in your place and I've got an IIM Ahmedabad admit and all sorts of admit in my hand, I would still prefer XLRI over all other colleges. I think I have told this to you also. It's a altogether a different brand. XLRI provides that sort of a brand that no other B school in the country provides. Completely different. And plus the filtration process is something that I like a lot. The best chunk of the crowd comes down to XLRI.
The faculty, and the faculty, the seniors here, because there is a legacy of alumni committee here. Because largest alumni base is like from XLRI. It's like completely different thing coming here and joining. Yeah.
Right. All right. All right, Komal, this was lovely talking to you, and pondering over such a vast diversity of topics with you, right from preparation to how your life is at XLR, and such a lot of depth that you gave to the discussion on how the faculties are at XLR, how's your life over there, and how you prepared overall. So, and also to add to it, how your internship experience was there with us. That's very important for our marketing as well. All right. So I'll end the session over here, and we hope to connect with you anytime you are again free in future. And whenever our doors are always open for you to again rejoin us as an intern, and we would definitely welcome you back. All right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Shubham.